How much control do you really have? How much of that means something, and how much is that you just thinking that you've got it? That's always a really interesting place to start. You know, I spend time with, I guess, what we would describe as client organizations and contract organizations. So I spend time on both sides of the fence. In my real job life, when I had a real job, I spent time in both sides of that fence as well.
Yeah.
So I know the relationship from both sides. I have trophies somewhere in this attic, looking up for people that see this, that say things like, "Great job, you got us to zero through creative case management," right? Like those kind of things.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, it's just a toe you lost. We can get you back to work.
That's
You know,
right.
It's not going to affect your normal job duties. It's fine. For a lot of the reasons you just described, right? That we tend to see the way that we have interacted with our contractors in the past as being this thing that's just completely numbers driven. If you get a little bit too much of this, then sorry, you can't work here anymore. A couple really weird things that I always struggled with there is that, first, it always disproportionately affects small mom and pop local contractors more than it ever affects the big boys.
Absolutely.
So we got mom and pop down the street. We like using them. They bend over backwards to take care of us. They do amazing work. We might even actually live next door to them. But because they have 5 employees, and my God, Bob tragically got killed on driving a work truck last year, you will never work here again. So now we're going to hire out somebody all the way from the other side of the country that's a megacorp that's basically going to be calling a call center to get any feedback on the projects that we're doing. That's way better, obviously.
Yeah.
So it always works out weird. From the client side, or from the contract side, as you described, you end up in this weird dance of how in the world do I keep these numbers low enough while still learning, while still figuring out, while still not discouraging, or trying my best to not discourage reporting.
Yeah.
Because if we're not working, none of us have to worry about safety. We have nothing to worry about then, except for
Yeah.
I'll see you at the unemployment office, right?
true.
I'll see you down there.
You'll
All
be
of
the
us.
safest unemployed people ever.
Right. So I think what's really interesting to me, what gives me a little bit of hope, is a lot of the client organizations that I work with, they're changing that. Not all, but at least ones that are maybe going down this more humanized approach to things. They're looking at that and they're going, that number doesn't really tell me the whole story.
Yeah.
They have 5 employees. That was awful. And I knew Bob. And when Bob wrecked that truck, it hurt everybody. Like, it sucked. Is putting that company basically out of business the right move? Is hurting them more than they're already hurt the right move? Is that number really telling us much of anything? And a lot of those companies are starting to change the way that they pre-qual contractors, the way that they manage contractors over time. It goes back to some of that more involved thing that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Instead of me client, you contractor, it's more of a we thing that they're starting to discover.
Yeah.
Now, that's not the norm in our world yet. That's certainly not the norm, but I look forward to the day when it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the market and the insatiable need to make sure you protect yourself from litigation seems to dictate what happens on boots on the ground safety.
Yeah.
And the workers are the ones who capture the brunt of it, because now they're being treated like kids and not treated like adults, because if they don't follow your rules the way you said it, that's a violation, and here you go, you're getting a safety violation. OSHA doesn't care about that stuff unless it actually is a violation